cameras on or not. Um, so today I thought we should talk about balance, because I think things are a little out of balance right now, right? I'm sure everybody is feeling it in some way or another. You know, it's hard enough on a normal day to have that work-life balance or that family social balance, or, you know, whatever your balance is you're trying to achieve is so difficult as it is. And everything right now is kind of all crazy, right? Like some of us are trying to balance working with teaching our kids, with entertaining our kids, with keeping our house straight, and balancing, you know, whatever else that is. Some of us are trying to balance keeping in touch online with our friends and our family and our neighbors and our work people. And some of us are trying to balance our time between sitting on the couch, maybe more than we're used to sitting on the couch. Some of us might be taking things to the other extreme. Maybe you're used to running a couple of miles a week, and now you're running 20 miles a week because that's what you're doing. And right now, I think we're all just really out of balance. So I like to look at yoga for answers and the principles of yoga. So when I'm struggling with some of my work-life balance or my family life balance, everyone always likes to give advice, right? And so some people are like, okay, well, everything, you'll feel more balanced. You know, for me, if I clean off all my counters, then I don't feel like everything's out of balance. As long as the house is clean. So just like clean the house and then you'll feel better. Other people are like, well, no, if you get a good night's sleep, everything feels better the next day. So the point is what works for you might not work for me. What works for me might not work for you, to find that balance. But what we can do is we can look at what is the principle behind that. What everyone is saying is if you have a nice solid foundation, things are going to feel more in balance. Things are going to feel more attainable. Things are going to feel a little bit less anxious for you, right? So maybe for some people that foundation is having a clean house. If my house is clean, everything else works. Maybe for some people, it's this time with their families or with their friends. It's like, as long as I have my friends, I feel stable. For me personally, if I get a good night's sleep, if I'm watching what I eat, and if I'm exercising, I need at least 2 of those 3 things to be working for me to feel balanced for the rest of the day. And so I would urge you to figure out what your foundation is and build up from there. And in this very weird time that we're living in, our foundations are kind of kooky, because what if your foundation is your friends? Like, that is your stability that you go to, and now you can't see them. So now we just have to play with that foundation a little bit. We have to tweak it, because now we need to connect on Zoom, or we need to walk 6 feet apart when we go for those walks. But it's still important to find that foundation and just kind of rework it a little bit into a way that works for you. But when we have a solid foundation in our life, everything else seems a little bit easier to balance. So let's work on foundation today, and we're going to work on balance and use those principles in yoga and see how we can transfer that to the rest of our lives. So with all of that in mind, please sit up nice and tall. Take a deep breath in all the way up your spine, all the way through the crown of your head. Maybe take those shoulders all the way up to your ears, and then take them down onto your back. Close your eyes and set an intention for your practice today. Think about what your foundation is and how you can build on that, how you can stabilize that, how maybe you need to be creative with new ways to set that. Take a big deep breath in through your nose, and open mouth exhale, let it all out. Another big deep breath in, open mouth, sigh it out. One more time, breathing in deeply. Exhale, let it all out. You can gently open your eyes if you've closed them. Take a big deep breath in, reach your arms up overhead. Spread your fingers really nice and wide. Keep reaching up for the ceiling. Reach up through the fingertips, but then pull those shoulder blades down onto your back as you continue to reach up through the fingertips. Take another breath in here. Exhale your hands down to your heart center. Inhale again up. Exhale down to your heart center. Inhale. And exhale. Let's inhale again, reach it all the way up. Take opposite hands to opposite elbows. Give a nice big tug on those elbows. Pull them out from side to side. Make sure your elbows are back so everything's in line with your ears, and keep reaching up to the crown of the head and take your chin back just a little bit. Keep pulling on those elbows. Take a breath in, and then exhale, lean to the right. Keep pressing down through the left sit bone so you feel nice and grounded. Bring it back up to center, and then take it to the other side. This time pressing down through the left sit bone, and then up to center. Release those elbows, reach it all the way up one more time, and down to your heart center. Let's swing around into a child's pose. So bring your legs behind you. In child's pose, we're gonna take our big toes to touch and your knees spread wide. Sink your hips back down towards your heels. Crawl your hands out in front of you and take your forehead down to the mat. If this is uncomfortable this early in class, you can always take a pillow between your bottom and your heels. And just keep on breathing through this child's pose, pressing the hips back towards the heels, crawling your fingertips now a little bit more actively towards the top of your mat. Keep crawling your fingertips up so much so that you're just on the tippy tops of your fingertips, kind of making a cupping shape with your hands here, hollowing out through the underarms, stretching the side body, keep pressing the hips back. And then let's come up into a neutral tabletop position. So pull those knees in so that they're right underneath your hips, and have your shoulders in line over your wrists. Spread your fingers wide to help protect your wrists here a little bit. Activate all of those muscles. And pull your abs up, nice straight back here. And we'll do a couple rounds of cat-cow to warm up the spine. So inhale, drop the belly button towards the earth as you take your shoulders on your back, sit bones apart, looking up. Exhale, press the mat away. Pull your belly button up into your spine as you round your back. Inhale, come back down through your cat, or cow, sorry. Exhale, press up into cat. Inhale, dropping it down as you look up. And exhale, rounding it up as you look down. And let's come back to that neutral tabletop position. Pressing down through those hands, let's inhale, reach your right hand forward, and then take your left foot back. All right, so your left leg is back. Turn your toes, take a look back. Are your toes pointing down towards the earth? So don't have them out to the side, toes pointing straight down, and then press your heel towards that wall behind you. Keep reaching through your fingertips on the right-hand side. Take a breath in here, and then exhale, draw your elbow up into your knee. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale again. Exhale, draw your elbow to your knee. And then reach it out. Keep pressing that heel back. Keep on turning those toes down. Drop your left toes right where they are on the mat behind you, and then reach your right arm up to the sky. And on your exhale, let's take that hand underneath your left arm. Take your right cheek down to the mat. Now this is where we're gonna have to set our first foundation here. This right hand, you wanna be pressing the top of your hand firmly into the mat. That's gonna give you your stability right here. As you inhale, take your left toes back up off the mat. Keep on pressing through the right hand. If you feel balanced here, start to float your left hand off the mat and reach it up. You have to keep pressing to that right hand, drawing in through the abs. Go ahead and take that left hand back down to the mat slowly. Drop your left toes down, press the earth away with your left hand, and reach your right arm all the way back up. And then take that hand down, pull your left knee in, get your foundation set again. Knees in line, underneath those hips, wrists under the shoulders. We'll do it on the other side. This time, take your left hand out and your right foot back. Turn the right toes to face down. Inhale here. Exhale, elbow to your knee. Inhale, reach. Exhale, round. Inhale, pull it out. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale here, one last reach, turning those toes down, pressing the heel behind you, and then just drop the right toes down right where they are. Inhale, reach that left hand all the way up to the sky, and on your exhale, thread it through, take it underneath the right arm, pressing now the top of that left hand firmly into the mat for stability. And then take those right toes up off of the mat. Keep pressing to the top of that left hand, and if you feel stable here, float your right hand up to the sky. Well, let's go ahead and take that right hand back down to the mat. Take your right toes down, press the mat away, reaching your left hand all the way back up, and coming in to that neutral tabletop position. Curl those toes if they're not already, straighten through the knees, send your hips up into your first downward facing dog. Take whatever movements you need here to warm up, maybe bending one knee, straightening the other. And then come into a neutral downward facing dog. Let's all come up onto your tippy toes in this dog, put a slight bend in your knee, and then send your hips up further to the sky. And then straighten through the legs, pressing the heels down towards the mat. Make sure your fingers are spread wide here and you're pressing down through the knuckles, dragging the fingertips towards the top of the mat to take all that pressure off of your wrist. In this downward facing dog, we're gonna shorten our dog. So take about a step or two in closer to your hands, maybe so much that your heels can come down to the earth, maybe not. And then from here, we're gonna take your right hand and reach across to your left calf or ankle and take a look underneath your left armpit. And then take that right hand back down and take your left hand over to the right ankle. And take that left hand back down. Let's bend your knees and look forward, and on your exhale, tippy toe to the top of your mat into a forward fold. Bring your hips up high, stomach towards your thighs. Inhale, come up halfway lift, hands to your shins, and exhale, fold it down. Let's inhale, reach all the way up, and bring your hands down to your heart center. All right, we'll do a half sun A here. Let's inhale, reach it up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale it up, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up. And hands down to your heart center. All right, so I want to do a, Tadasana is the most foundational pose in yoga, and it's more than just standing on your mat. If you've been in my class before, you know that I like to call this the grocery store stance. So for everyone who doesn't know this, when you're standing in line at the grocery store or standing talking on the phone or your friends, or when we get back to work, when you're in a meeting in front of everyone, what I don't want you to do is to stand like this. None of this, all your weight on one leg, right? Because we're always gonna do it pretty much the same. Your hips are gonna be out of line. No, stand in Tadasana. So in Tadasana, take your feet, press them down into the mat. We're gonna stand hip distance apart, toes in line with the knees, knees in line with your hip bones right here, not the outsides of your hip bones, okay? Heels in line with those toes. Press down through all four corners of your feet as if you were pressing down into the mat. The four corners of your feet are gonna be, if you look on your hand, kind of like right there. So what you do, if you're standing, pressing those in, you should be able to lift all 10 toes, still pressing firmly through those four corners of your feet. Keeping those toes lifted, spread them out wide, and then place your pinky toe down on the mat. See if you can place your big toe down and then all those toes. Okay, we want to take our thighs back and apart. This is where, if you have a block, you can put it between your thighs. And when we say back and apart, you think of it like a Pez dispenser, okay? So back and apart, you're gonna do, you can see it, that block starts to move back a little bit, okay? And what that does is you're squeezing your thighs in and you're taking them back and apart. So the Pez dispenser, that little comes right out the back there. Okay, what this is gonna do is gonna give you a little bit of a Beyonce booty. We don't want that much of a curve in our back. So from here, we draw up through the abs and then draw down through the shoulder blades. Take the tops of the shoulders out to both sides and keep pulling the shoulder blades down. Pull up through the crown of your head, chin back. Turn your palms to face forward, thumbs out. All right, here's your grocery store stance, okay? Remember this, when you're standing, you should feel so stable that if I came and I pressed on your shoulders, then I shouldn't be able to bend your knees or move you at all, because you are as strong as a mountain here, and mountains do not move. I want you to keep all of this engagement as you inhale, reach your arms all the way up. And then very slowly swan dive, forward fold, keeping your hips nice and stable, keeping your legs really engaged all the way down to the earth. If you put a block between your thighs, you can go ahead and remove it. Inhale, come up, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back into a plank pose. Okay, plank pose, same thing. Take those thighs back and apart, all that same engagement here. Press your heels back as if you were standing firmly on the ground. Crown of the head forward as if you're reaching it up. Fingers spread wide. Inhale here, exhale, lower down. Chaturanga Dandasana, come halfway down and then all the way down. Turn those toes, press your toenails into the mat. Inhale, lift up, cobra pose. And release that down. Come up, downward facing dog. Bend your knees and look forward, and exhale, come to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, your hands to heart center. Get all that engagement in your legs, pulling up through the abs, down through the shoulders. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, plank pose. Draw your abs in and lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, press up into that cobra pose, pulling your heart forward, elbows back, and exhale, downward facing dog. Bend your knees and look forward, and exhale, come to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale it up, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, let's come all the way up again. And bring your hands down to your heart center. One more time, inhale it up here. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, take that plank. And lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, press up, cobra pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. Hold your downward facing dog here. In this downward facing dog, step your toes in about another inch closer, shorten your dog up, but stay in downward facing dog. Engage through the legs and engage through the abs, and then reach your right hand up. And then can you lift your left toes up? Two-legged dog. Take the hand down, take the toes down. Feel your stability here on all four. And then lift your left hand up. And then try to lift your right toes up. And take it down. All right, bend your knees and look forward and come to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale it up, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up and hands down to your heart center. All right, anytime I cue a plank, you are always welcome to just step right back into downward facing dog. Anytime I cue a downward facing dog, you are welcome to just step right into your plank pose. Take this to whatever level works for you. Let's get our nice, strong, steady stance here. Either feet hip distance apart or toes together if you prefer. Wherever you are, engage the legs, engage the abs. Let's reach your arms all the way up. Keeping all that engagement in the legs, bend your knees, send your hips back, find a chair pose. If you lost the thighs here, take those thighs back and apart. Feel the difference. Reach your arms up a little bit higher. Pressing down through all four corners of the feet, lift your toes, spread them wide. Place the toes back down and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Let's take that plank pose. And lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, press up into your cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. All right, let's take those right toes up and bend your knees, send your foot forward, planted on that mat in between your thumbs. We're gonna come up into a high lunge here. So left heel remains lifted, either crawl your hands up your thigh or sweep them up. Engage through the legs, get your foundation here. Keeping your right knee in line right over your right ankle. Hips square to the top of the mat. All right, so now we're gonna play a little bit. So in this high lunge, come up onto your tippy toes on your right foot. And drop your heel back down. Keep reaching up to the fingertips, come up onto your tippy toes. And heel down. One more time, tippy toes. Bring your heel down. We are gonna come forward into a one-legged Tadasana here. So you can either take your hands down to your hips if you would like to, crawl your foot in, or you can power through that right foot, shift your weight forward, bring your knee up to your chest. In this one-legged Tadasana, keep your right leg strong and steady. And then we're gonna step that left foot back into our high lunge. Frame your foot, step back, downward facing dog. All right, bring your left foot up. Bring that knee in towards your nose and plant your foot in between your hands on the mat, keeping the right heel lifted. Sweep your arms up, high lunge, left foot forward, right heel lifted. Squeeze through the thighs, pull up through the abs, shoulders on your back, keeping the fingertips reaching up nice and high. Come on to your left toes and drop your left heel down. And left tippy toes and heel down. One more time, coming onto those tippy toes. Can you keep engaging through the legs and bring the heel down? Okay, again, we're gonna come into that one-legged Tadasana, however you need to get there. If you prefer, go ahead, power through that left foot, step forward, drawing the right knee up towards your chest. Flex that right foot. Stand strong on your left leg, and then slowly take your right foot back into your high lunge. Frame your foot, step back, downward facing dog. Bend your knees and look forward, and exhale, come to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale it up, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up, and hands down to your heart center. All right, let's add on to that funness. Oh, forgot my second chair. Guys, now you have to hold this one really, really long. Oh, all right. Either feet hip distance apart or feet together. It's a different experience when your feet are together. You might feel a little bit less balanced if you're used to doing them apart. Engage through the legs, reach up through the fingertips, bend your knees, send your hips back, chair pose. This time, instead of lifting our toes, we're gonna come onto our tippy toes, lifting our heels. Wobbly chair. I don't know if you can see me or not. Wobbly chair. Ooh. And take your heels down. Again, let's come up onto those tippy toes, wobbly chair. And heels down. One more time. And heels down. And forward fold. Inhale it up, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, find a plank pose. Engage through the abs, crown of the head forward, heels pressing back, and lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, press up into your back bend. And exhale, downward facing dog. All right, take those right toes up. Bring that knee in towards your nose and then plant your foot on the mat in between your thumbs. Keeping the left heel lifted, sweep your arms up, high lunge. All right, we're gonna come into that one-legged Tadasana again, however you need to get there. Let's come forward, standing on the right foot, drawing the left knee up. And then taking the left foot back into that high lunge. Trusting, woo, not watching me fall out of it, and trusting the earth behind you. If you ever need more stability in a high lunge, you can take that back foot to the, like this time the left foot, take it out to the left a little bit, maybe draw it in a little bit, whatever you need to do to get your foundation here, and then drag that right heel towards your left toes, squeeze in. All right, spin your back foot flat, finding our first warrior two pose. Right heel bisects the left arch, right knee's in line right over our ankle. Keep reaching for both walls here, sending your gaze over the right fingertips and bend deeply through that right knee. Press through the outer edge of your left foot, trying to disperse the weight between both feet. Keep all that engagement in your lower half, and then come onto your right tippy toes. And take your right ankle or heel back down. Come onto those toes and heel down. One more time. And bring it back down. Flip your right palm and reverse your warrior. Keep reaching through the fingertips, bend deeply into that right knee if it came up a little bit. And come back, warrior two. In this warrior two, we want to keep our foundation just as it is and straighten through the right leg. Keep on pressing through both feet, keep pulling your left hip back, and then reach your right hand forward. And slowly open up your arms, tick-tocking to 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock to find your triangle. Bring your right fingertips down to your leg, to a block, a can of food, a Barbie house, the floor. And take a look up towards your left fingertips if that's comfortable. Keep pressing through that left foot though. And then use your side body, pull yourself back up nice and slow. Bend through that right knee, back into your warrior two. Let's windmill your hands, frame your foot, stay here in a runner's lunge. Keep pressing that left heel back, shoulders away from your ears. And then we're gonna come up, your option one is into a forward fold. Option two is standing split. If you're gonna do standing splits, power through that right foot, lift your left toes up. Don't stack your left hip on top of your right. Keep drawing that left hip down parallel to the earth and then raising your left leg up. If you want to play with balance here, you can take one hand to your ankle. Maybe try to take the other hand to your ankle. Bring both hands down to the mat, drop your toes down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, either plank or downward facing dog. If you are in plank pose, lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, pressing up into your back bend. And exhale, downward facing dog. In this downward facing dog, take your left toes up. Draw that left knee in towards your nose, drop your foot in between your thumbs on the mat. Find your high lunge, left leg forward. All right, let's find that one-legged Tadasana here. However you need to get there, press down through that left foot, draw your right knee in. Flex through the right foot, take that left side back for stability. And then we're gonna slowly step the right foot back, finding that high lunge again, trusting the earth behind you. Do whatever you need to do here to get stability, and then spin your right foot flat, open up into your warrior two on the other side. Inhaling all the way up through the crown of your head. Exhale, pressing down through that right foot, dispersing the weight evenly. Flip your left palm and reverse your warrior, pressing it towards that wall behind you and bending that left knee right over your ankle. Keep reaching through the fingertips. and come back, warrior two. Keep pulling that right hip back as you straighten your left leg. Let's reach your left fingertips forward and slowly tick-tock those arms open, finding your triangle on the other side. Go ahead and use those obliques, pull yourself back up and find your warrior two. I forgot to do the tippy toes the first time around, so I'll do them this time. Go ahead and come onto those left tippy toes, raising your heel up and pressing that heel down. And tippy toes, and left heel comes down. One more time, coming up onto the ball of that foot. Press your heel down. And now windmill your hands, frame your foot, find that runner's lunge here. All right, same thing as on the other side. You can step forward right into your forward fold, or if you would like to add that standing split, press down through your left foot, raise your right toes up. And again, don't stack this right hip on top of your left. Keep drawing the right hip down towards the mat and then raising the leg up. You might not be able to get it as high up this way, but you're going to get a better stretch. And if you want to play with balance, you can take one hand to your ankle. Maybe try to take the other hand to your ankle. Keep pressing through all four corners of that foot. Bring both feet down. Hands down, and now both feet down, forward fold. And inhale it up, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. And hands down to your heart center. Grab a sip of water if you need it. So we've been playing a lot with balance. Clearly, this is where class is going today. Whenever we're on one foot, one thing that I notice a lot of people do and what I tend to do is when you start to lose your balance and say go to one side, you overcompensate greatly. Like if you're going onto the right side of your foot, you overcompensate by pressing down to the left side of your foot. And all that's going to do is you're going to keep on being unstable because you're overcompensating, you're swinging so far. Again, where everything's out of balance. So I want you to think about, instead of pressing down to the opposite side of your foot when that starts to happen, I want you to mentally just think about pressing down, all four corners pressing down. Don't think about overcompensating to make up for that, because again, you're just going to keep wobbling. So instead, try really hard when you do that to just think about squaring down into the mat versus over to the opposite side. Okay, all right. All right, let's bring a little bit of a different kind of balance in. So let's inhale, reach your arms up. I forgot the second chair again, didn't I? That means we have to do it again. Okay, so we're gonna come into that chair pose, so either feet hip distance apart or toes together, bend your knees and send your hips back, chair pose. And since I forgot, let's take that balance pose. Let's come up onto your tippy toes here and send your hands back, this time into a steer's position. Bring your arms back up and come onto those tippy toes and send your hands back. And arms up and arms back. And chair pose. And forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, take a plank pose. And lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, sweep up into your back bend, cobra or up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. All right, let's bring your right toes up. Send that right knee in towards your nose. Plant your hand on the ground in between your hands. I said your hands, your foot on the ground in between your hands. And then let's drop that left knee down. So here, if you want to grab a blanket under your knee, if you're on hardwood floor, you can always flip your mat if you need a little extra stability. Or if you're on the carpet, you might be okay. Wherever you are, bring your arms up, low lunge. Is your right knee in line right over your right ankle? If not, let's take that back knee back a little bit to get it there. Okay, so sometimes people find it more stable if you have your toes curled like this. Some people like to have their foot flat. Whatever your stability is, it's up to you. To get all that stability, then let's drag that right heel towards your left knee. Feel all that squeezing in. Again, pull up to the abs and up to the crown of the head, shoulders onto your back. Keep squeezing in here, take a breath in, and exhale, right hand behind you, left hand back for an, forward, sorry. Right hand back, left hand forward for an open arm twist. Keep squeezing it all in. Inhale, bring it back to center. And now we're going to twist the other way. So right hand forward, left hand back. So this might feel different. It might feel easier. It might feel harder. But did your knee come over to the left? If so, pull it over to the right so it's in line over your ankle. Don't lose your foundation. Bring it back to center. And then frame your foot. Here, we're going to plant our left hand either on the earth or on a block, and then reach your right hand up to the sky for a twist. Again, don't get lazy with the legs though. Keep engaging through the legs. Keep your knee in line over your ankle. And then raise your back knee. From here, we're going to find a high lunge with airplane arms. You can take your right hand down to your thigh for stability, or you can simply keep reaching up to the right fingertips, float your left fingertips up, and come parallel into that airplane. And then reach your arms up, high lunge. And then spin your back foot flat, warrior two. Take a moment here, get yourself all set up. Make sure that knee is in line over the ankle. Make sure you're pressing through both feet, squeezing through the thighs. Keep all of that, flip your palm and reverse your warrior. And come on back, warrior two. All right, let's reach your right hand forward here. Bend your elbow, place your forearm on your thigh, reach your left arm up. Before you do anything else here, plug that shoulder blade down onto your back and then reach the fingertips over your ear towards the opposite wall. Nice straight line all the way from your fingertips to the outside edge of that left foot. Pull your right rib cage up towards the sky, and then either stay here or take those right fingertips down to the earth or to a prop. And bring it back up, warrior two. Windmill your hands, frame your foot, take that runner's lunge. Okay, same thing as before. We're going to either come into a forward fold or find that standing split by powering through your right foot, lifting your left toes, drawing the left foot up, squaring off on the hips. And if you'd like to play with balance, go right ahead. And drop those left toes down, forward fold. Inhale it up halfway and release. Inhale all the way up and hands down to your heart center. We'll do the other side here. So inhale, reach it up, bend your knees, send your hips back, chair pose. See, I didn't forget. Come up onto those tippy toes, send your hands back. Reach it up, chair. Whoops. Come onto your tippy toes and reach your hands back. One more time, chair. One more time, sweeping it back. Did I say one more time, chair? Now I mean, this is the last time, I swear. And lower down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, find that plank pose or right into downward facing dog. If you're in plank, go ahead and take your vinyasa. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. All right, take those left toes up. Bend that knee, bring it in towards your nose. Plant your left hand on the floor, excuse me, in between your hands. Drop your right knee down. Take that right knee back as much as you need to so that when you rise up, your left ankle is in line, or so your knee is in line over your ankle. And sweep your arms up. Get all that engagement in your legs. Lots of stability here. Take a breath in. Exhale, right hand forward, left hand back, open arm twist. And bring it back to center. Keeping that knee in line right over your ankle, take it the other way, right hand back, left hand forward. And back to center. Go ahead and frame your foot. Plant your right hand down. Sweep your left arm up. And then raise your back knee. All right, we're gonna find that high lunge with airplane arms, however you need to get there. Either use your thigh for stability or float those right fingertips up, twist your torso, and then we'll reach up, high lunge. Spin your back foot flat, finding your warrior two on the other side. Beautiful, strong warriors. Ooh. Flip your palm and reverse your warrior. And coming back through warrior two, keep everything in line right where it is as you reach that left hand forward, bend your elbow, place your forearm on your thigh, reach your right arm up, plug that shoulder blade down, and then reach your right fingertips over your ear, creating that straight line all the way from your right middle finger down to the outside edge of your right foot, which you're pressing down firmly into the mat. Draw your left rib cage up away from your thigh, and then take your fingertips down to the earth or to a block, or just leave them right where they are. And pull it back up, warrior two. Windmill your hands, frame your foot, find that runner's lunge. And then we're gonna find either that forward fold at the top of the mat or coming through standing splits, raising your right toes up, drawing that right hip down as you continue to raise your heel up, and play with some balance if that is in your practice. Take your hands down to the mat, take your foot down to the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up. And bring your hands down to the heart center. Grab a sip of water if you need it. Okay. When you're ready, come to the top of the mat, find your center. Take a big deep breath in. Exhale, let it all out. Press down firmly through all four corners of those feet. Take your thighs back and apart. Draw up through the abs, down through the shoulder blades, down through the tailbone, up through the crown of the head. Bring your hands to your sides. Rotate your palms so your thumbs are out. Inhale, reach it all the way up. And exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step your left foot back, and drop that left knee down to the earth. Before you come up, let's take that knee back just a little bit further. And then come on up, fingertips pointing down towards the earth, chest away from your thigh. So I see my knee is a little bit far forward for me to get what I want. So I'm going to take my hands back down and I'm going to move my knee back even a little bit further. Then when I come up, my knee is in line over my ankle as I draw my hips down towards the earth, trying to take my fingertips down to the earth. And then I'm going to inhale and reach all the way up. Keep drawing that right heel towards your left knee. Take your palms together to touch. Squeeze your palms together. Take a breath in, and then exhale, draw all those fingers towards that wall behind you. And bring it back to center. Bring your hands to your thigh. We're gonna do a quad stretch here. So using your thigh for stability, if you make sure your knee is back far enough that when you bend through this left knee, you're on the top of your knee. So we're gonna bend through and reach back with our left hand. If this hurts your knee, take that knee back a little bit further so you're on top of your knee or have a pad underneath it. And get a nice big quad stretch here. Press your hand into foot, foot into hand. You have to keep all that stability in your legs for balance here. Use your abs. And then slowly release the foot back down. Okay, now we're gonna do half splits. So if you need your hands down on blocks or cans or books, or if you can reach the floor, go ahead and do so and straighten through your right leg. Draw your right toes up towards your knee and then pull that right hip back if it came forward. Take a breath in here, and then on your exhale, take your stomach down closer to your thigh. Inhale your nose towards your toes. Exhale your stomach towards your thigh. All right, start to put a bend back in that right knee, placing your toes back down on the earth. Leave your hands on the mat and bring your knee in closer. If your toes are in a kickstand, take the top of your foot flat to the mat. Press through all 10 toenails and bring your hands to your thigh. Keep pressing your toenails into the mat. Are you with me here? Straighten your left knee. And bring it back down. I know. All right, go back into that kickstand. Go ahead and frame your foot, raise your back knee, and let's step forward into a forward fold or raise those left toes, standing split. And forward fold if you're not there. Bring it up halfway lift. Plant your hands, step your right foot back. Get it far back, and then take your right knee down. When you're ready, bring your chest up, fingertips down. Make sure your left knee is in line right over that ankle. If not, make whatever adjustments you need to make so that when you come up, you can press your hips down, fingertips down, and your knee is right over your ankle. And then draw everything together, squeezing it in for stability. And then inhale, reach it up. Take your palms to touch, squeeze them together, and then reach those fingertips towards the wall behind you. Bring it back to center. Bring your hands down to your thigh. Now we're gonna bend through that right leg, reach back with our right hand for your quad stretch on the other side. Again, you still have to keep everything engaged here for the balance and press your foot into hand, hand into foot. And then slowly release that ankle. Let's bring our hands down to the mat, down to your blocks, down to your cans, whatever you need, and then straighten through that left leg, finding your half split on the other side, drawing your toes up towards your knee and pulling your left hip back. And then use your breath to deepen this half split. Start to put a bend back in that left knee, placing your toes back down on the mat. What did we do here? Oh yeah, that's right, the fun part. Bring your right knee in a little bit closer. Tuck your toes so that your toenails are down on the mat, top of the foot down on the mat. Bring your hands up to your thigh. And then everyone's favorite stretch in mind, straighten through that back knee, toe crunch. It's great for shin splints. Go ahead and take that knee down. Let's frame your foot, curl your toes, raise your knee, runner's lunge, and then step forward, either forward fold or standing split to the top of your mat. And forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Let's inhale all the way up. Then bring your hands down to your heart center. All right, that was fun. Shake it out. Grab a sip of water. All right. When you're ready, we will clear all that out with a vinyasa. So come to the top of your mat, pull everything in, and reach your hands up to the sky. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, take that plank pose. And lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, press up into your back bend. And exhale, downward facing dog. And take a couple breaths here. In this dog, let's raise your right toes, bend your right knee, and then stack your right hip over on top of your left. Get a nice big opening here, a little bit of a hip stretch. Pull up through your left shoulder if it started to dip down. And then straighten through that right leg, take your right toes back down to the mat. This time, take your left toes up, bend your knee, stack your hips. And straighten through, take those toes down. And then let's come on down to your stomachs, or down through your knees, and then come down onto your stomachs, however you need to get there. All right. Tops of the toenails are pressing down into the mat. Take your fingertips long on your sides, pressing your fingers towards your toes. Just like we did before, take those thighs back and apart. Just like when we were standing, draw your abs up and in, shoulder blades down on your back, shoulder tips out to both sides. Inhale, bring your chin up, shoulders up, chest up, fingers up, toes up. And lower it down. Inhale, pull it all back up, locust pose. And release. One more time, inhale, pulling it up. And on your next exhale, release it down. Bring your hand as a pillow, rest one cheek on the top of your hands, bend your knees, and windshield wiper back and forth. And go ahead and take those toes back down to the mat. Press yourself up through tabletop, and let's meet in a seated position. You know that I love my abs, and not my abs, to do abs. And I was thinking, what ab workout could we do that has balance in it? All right, bend your knees, stamp your feet to the mat in front of you. Bring the inside edges of your feet together to touch. Let your knees come just slightly apart, not into full Baddha Konasana. Sit up nice and tall, bring your shoulders onto your back. Make L's with your hands, and then take those hands as L's and lobster claw your calves. Sit up nice and tall, shift your weight back on your sit bones, raise your toes up, and then take all four corners of your feet to touch. Bring your hands out so that your calves are on your forearms, palms facing up. Keep on pressing all four corners of your feet together. Press your calves into your forearms, forearms into calves. Sit up nice and tall, pull your abs in, crown of the head up. Maybe if all four corners of your feet are touching, you can spread your toes. Keep pressing into your legs, legs into arms. Don't forget to breathe. See, now, if you're in my class, you know that this is where I would be playing Alexi Murdoch, Breathe, and then I would wait for the chorus when he says, and don't forget to breathe. And then I would say, and don't forget to breathe. And then I'd chuckle because I think I'm hilarious, and you'd all roll your eyes because I do it every week. Don't forget to breathe. All right, did I distract you long enough? You guys still all hanging in there? Try to keep all that engagement if you can. Start to loosen the grip on your calves there. Let go of your hands, bring them down and around, and grab for your big toes with your peace fingers and your thumbs. Keep pulling into the abs, and then straighten your legs out, whatever works for you. Maybe it's here, maybe it's here, maybe it's here. Keep pulling in through the abs. Crown of the head up nice and tall, shoulders on your back. Smile pretty. And then slight bend in the knees and release it all down. That was fun. Balanced abs. All right, what are we going to do here? It's not a balanced class if we don't do some tree poses, right? So let's make our way back up into a standing position, top of the mat, however you need to get there. And let's, before we do anything else, get our roots nice and set. So press down firmly into the mat. Don't just stand on it. Make sure the weight is evenly dispersed over both feet. Pelvis nice and in line, pressing down as everything else pulls up. Start to shift the weight to your right foot and simply come onto those left toes. We have to shift our foundation a little bit here because we're on one foot. Draw your left knee up. Flex through your left foot. Draw your right thigh back and away. Find some stability here. Slowly open your left knee out to the left. And then find your tree pose, whether it's kickstand with a toe on the ground, your foot to your calf, or pulling your foot into your upper thigh. Just avoid your knee. If you're on your upper thigh, press your foot into leg, leg into foot. Wherever you are, draw your left knee out to the left just a little bit further back. Keep pressing through the right foot. If you'd like to grow your branches, feel free to lift your arms up. Open up. Bring your hands back together and down to heart center. See if you can release your foot, but leave the knee lifted, drawing the knee back through center and taking it down. Shake out that ankle. I won't make you do the full toe crunch, but if you want to shake out that ankle here, you can just step your right foot back, tuck your toes, and stretch that ankle. Maybe not quite as severe as what we did earlier in class, but it gets that ankle nice and stretched. All right. Bringing it back to center here. Again, set your roots down. Slowly start to shift that weight. Shift your foundation just to the left foot as you come onto those right toes, and then draw your right knee up. Slowly start to open the right knee out to the right, and then find your tree pose on this side. Keep your hands at heart center. If you want an extra challenge here, instead of growing your branches, you can take your hands behind you and a reverse namaste. Wherever you are, bring your hands back to heart center. Release the foot, drawing the knee out and back to the center. And then take the toes down. Shake it out. If you need to stretch out that ankle, take your left foot behind you, tuck your toes, press back, stretch out that ankle. And bring it back. All right, so now let's see, what are we gonna do here? Okay, running out of time. Okay, so we are gonna do a Warrior 3 here. So if Warrior 3 is not something that you, if you know it's not fully in your practice, because we usually use blocks or a wall at the studio, feel free to have props in front of you at the top of your mat, or maybe come to a chair or the back of your couch. If you don't have any of that available, instead of coming in Warrior 3, you can always just take your foot back and lean forward and just practice lifting your toes as much as you can, okay? No judgment. But we're gonna come into it from that one-legged Tadasana we were just doing. So again, set down your roots here, and then start to shift your foundation, balancing just on your right foot as you lift your left toes, drawing your left knee into your chest. Flex through your left foot. Keep your hands at heart center, squeezing your palms together, helping to engage the abs. And then slowly start to shift your weight forward and take your left foot back, finding your version of Warrior 3. If your leg is lifted, just like when we were in Bird Dog, turn your left toes to face the mat, and then press your heel towards the wall behind you. Take the crown of your head forward as you press through the heel. If you'd like to, you can take your arms either out into airplane or in front to full Warrior 3. And then we're gonna slowly come back into that one-legged Tadasana, shifting our weight forward and drawing that knee back up into our chest and down to heart center, both feet on the ground. Whew. Get your breath, and we'll do it on the other side. Once you feel strong and steady on both feet, then you can start to shift the weight to your left foot. Bring your right knee up into your chest. Flex through that foot, and then slowly start to shift your weight forward, pressing your right foot back, bringing your chest parallel to the earth, thigh parallel, turning the right toes down and pressing through the heel, and then finding your Warrior 3. And then slowly start to pivot back up and draw your right knee back into your chest and bring it all down. Okay, we're gonna do it again. We're gonna add a challenge move if you so choose. Otherwise, practice the same thing we just did. Our challenge move is gonna be a Shiva squat. If you need your props, go right ahead. Let's see which way. I'll do it this way so you can see me. No, it is this way. Okay, so once again, shift the weight to your right foot, come onto your left toes, and draw your left knee up. When you feel strong and steady and balanced here, then start to shift your weight and come into your warrior three, but leave your hands to heart center this time. So just extend your left leg back, hands to heart center, or down to a block or the cans or your chair. We're gonna take a Shiva squat here, so start to bend through your right knee and take your left knee behind your left knee behind your right knee and squat down. Straighten through the right leg, lifting the left leg back up into warrior three. And then back forward. And place your toes down. Whew, shake it out. Okay, we have another side to do. Get yourself mentally and physically prepared here. Shift the weight onto your left foot. Draw your right knee up. Slowly pivot your weight forward, taking your right foot back behind you. Hands stay to heart center, finding your warrior three. And then bend through your left knee, placing your right knee behind it and squatting down. Straighten on through that left leg and take it back up into your warrior three. Oh, and then bring it back up and place your foot down. I fell out of that one. I don't know about you guys. What I tend to do when I'm coming out of balance is I'm a pronator. So I tend to draw my heels in towards the midline for stability, which is not good for my knees or my hips. So I'm working very hard on keeping my heels planted down, but you know, it is a work in progress. So do what I say, not what I do. All right, what do we have time for here? Okay, what do you guys think? One more challenge move? Our quads on fire? I can't hear you. So I'm going to picture you all smiling and giving me 2 thumbs up and saying, bring it on, let's do one more. So let's do one more. Shake out your ankles. Bring your toes together to touch. Bring your hands to heart center. And then come up onto your tippy toes. And then bend through your knees and come into a balanced toe squat. So heels are lifted. We're slowly taking it down. And then we're going to take a couple breaths here and staying on those tippy toes. We're going to slowly come back up. And place your heels down. Whew. All right. Let's inhale, reach your arms up. On forward fold, Uttanasana. In this forward fold, take opposite hands to opposite elbows for a ragdoll stretch. Let the crown of your head hang heavy down towards the earth. Bring your hips up towards the sky, stomach down towards your thighs, crown of the head down towards the earth. Shake your head, yes. I guess let's nod your head, yes. Shake your head, no. Maybe slowly sway from side to side. Release the hands down to the mat. Inhale it up, halfway lift. Exhale, float it down, plant your hands. Take your last plank or downward facing dog. If you are in plank pose, lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, press up into your back bend. And exhale, downward facing dog. Couple more breaths here. And lower down to your knees. Swing your feet around, come down onto your bottoms, find a seated pose. Grab a sip of water if you need it. Come into an easy seat. Whatever that means for you. If this is not easy on your body, you can always grab a blanket or a pillow, sit on it, raise your hips up a little bit so that your knees are down. You can bring one foot in front, one foot in, whatever works for you. Wherever you are, sit up nice and tall. Maybe close your eyes again. Let's get recentered. Take a big deep breath in. And open mouth, exhale, let it all out. Inhale, float your arms all the way back up again, just like at the beginning of class. Spread your fingers nice and wide and pull your shoulder blades down. Take a breath in here. And exhale, right hand behind you, left hand to your knee for a twist. Inhale, release the twist, reach it up. And exhale, take it to the other side. And inhale it back up. And hands down to your heart center. Sorry, I'm just gonna look there. Someone has a question. Okay, all right. And let's again inhale, reach it all the way up. And bring your hands down to heart center. Let's let both legs go long in front. Good, I have it set up better so you can't see my terribly dry and gross feet. Let's inhale, nice and tall. Pull your toes back towards your knees, heels towards the front. Press the top of your thighs down into the mat. Inhale, reach up, pulling all the way up to the crown of your head. And then reach it forward, leading with the heart. Let your hands fall down wherever they are. Continue to reach forward with the crown of your head, forward fold, and then exhaling the stomach down towards the thighs. If you want to send your gaze down now towards the knees, go ahead. Just remembering not to round through the back like a cat. And release that fold. Come on up. And then come all the way down to your backs. Bend your knees, stamp your feet into the mat. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's take your right foot and cross your ankle over your left knee. Flex through the right foot and draw the right knee away from you. You can reach that right hand to the opening, left hand to the back of the thigh, pull your thigh up towards your chest. You can use this right elbow to press your right knee away. Keep flexing through both feet here, both shoulders down on the mat for supine pigeon. All right, release the grip on your left thigh. Leave your right ankle crossed where it is. Let your left foot come back down to the mat. So you still have your ankle crossed in this figure 4 position. And then let your arms go long or cactus them onto the ground. And then let that right foot fall over to the left side. But leave your right shoulder pinned down onto the earth. Your foot might not come all the way down, and that's totally fine. And then bring your knees back up, continuing to leave your ankle crossed right where it is. Let both knees fall over to the right side this time, leaving your left shoulder pinned down. If this is too much of a hip stretch for you, you can always release your foot from that knee. And then bring those knees back up to center. Release the right foot, take it back down to the mat. This time we'll take the left foot, cross it over the right knee, flexing through the foot, drawing the left knee away. And then go ahead and reach your hand through the opening and around the outside of that thigh as you pull your right thigh into your chest, flexing through both feet. Maybe you want to draw that left knee out to the left just a little bit further with your elbow, or maybe you're good right where you are. Go ahead and release that right thigh. Let the right foot fall back down. Leave your left ankle crossed where it is, and either cactus your arms or let them go long on the mat. Keeping your foot right where it is, take that left foot all the way over to the right, leaving your left shoulder pinned down to the earth. And then bring that knee back up through center. And again, leaving your foot right where it is, go ahead and take both knees over to the left side. Right shoulder stays pinned down. And then here, if you need to release the foot from that knee, go right ahead. And then bring it back up to center. Release that foot down. Bring both knees up into your chest. Give yourself a nice big hug in. Go ahead and draw your chin and your nose all the way up into your knee. Nice big round ball. And then go ahead and release everything down, finding your final resting pose of Shavasana. Let your legs go long, arms down by your sides, palms up. Or if this isn't comfortable, find a comfortable resting position for you. Start to bring awareness back through your body and back through your mind by deepening your breath, wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, rolling your wrists, rolling your ankles. So then go ahead and draw those knees back into your chest again, giving a nice big hug in. And then gently roll to one side using your arm as a pillow. Slowly make your way up to a seated position. Eyes closed, hands to heart center. Thank you all so much for sharing your morning practice with us. I hope in this incredibly imbalanced world that we're living in right now, you're able to find some balance, or at least some principles of balance that you can take with you off the mat. It's just important to remember, and no matter what, the balance is not something you find, it's something that you create. Thank you so much for all your love and support. The light and love in me honors the light and love in each of you. Namaste. All right, I am going to unmute all of the microphones here.
Focus on him.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Susan. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And again, for those of you that weren't on early enough, we have a t-shirt store online now. It's on our Facebook page. We're going to have it up on the website in the purchase tab soon. And for those of you that are local, we also have, we're offering 15% off any props or things in the retail in the studio, and we will happily drop it off into your car for you.
Thank you.
So just send us an email.
Thanks a million, Susan.
Thank you,
Thank you guys.
Susan.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Susan.
you.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy your day. Enjoy your
Enjoy
day.
your day. Thank you.